Hi, I'm Alec. I'm a missionary with the God of Hope mission in Millville, New Jersey, and I want to share what God is doing here. My team and I hope that this channel's content inspires you to grow as a disciple of Christ as you make more followers of Jesus. Typically, my fellow missionary Paul is on these videos, but this week we had to split up a large workload. He'll be joining us next Saturday, but today it's good to have a one-on-one conversation with you. The team here has been moving towards some serious improvements to our ministry approach from 2021, and I'm excited to share that with you. We didn't do anything wrong last year, but we could have made more of an impact on Millville had we been a bit more organized. Personally, I entered into the world of church planting with a picture of how a congregation should function. The task of the church, obviously, is to participate in the mission of God to heal the world. Everyone knows that. To do this, Christians have to build relationships, share Christ, and empower others to live up to their God-given potential. Carrying this process out, this process of discipleship in Millville was fairly simple, and a lot of good things happened. In the last year, 5 people gave their lives to Jesus in baptism, and we've seen our little church family really deepen in faith. The problem is that we didn't give enough thought to what a congregation needs. As soon as my wife Rachel and I finished our training with the Newark Church of Christ and the Lord formed our little team, we set about the work of reading how the first church took care of people but didn't set those systems up here. It was exciting though to share, and we were all on the same page as to how this works and how things should function. Still, even though we had the same picture in mind, we never had a plan on how to make that a reality. So what will wind up happening was this. After meeting people where they were at in life and serving them how they need, we would form some really strong relationships. Some of these men and women opened up quickly to the gospel and they were eager to commit to Jesus. After they did, though, we didn't have an adequate framework to help our people mature or experience further healing in their lives. Originally, our thought had been that church servants and spiritual guides would naturally spring out of the ministry, and they will, but it turns out that right now, deacons and elders need to be intentionally trained and appointed. They made a big point of this in Scripture, in letters to Timothy and Titus. But anyway, 2 full-time missionaries like Paul and I can only do so much. And ultimately, God made people to need one another. That's why we've been working on putting a structure in place that will be able to nurture our disciples better. Now, the team is in the process of recruiting another elder and appointing 2 Christians to unique areas of service. In the upcoming weeks, the mission team is excited to share more about these roles, how they're outlined in the Bible, and how they're going to lead to even more lives being changed. For now, I want to give you an update on how you can be praying on the ministry in Millville, though. Many of you have heard of a man named Carl Shelton, and for those of you who haven't, please pray for this man. In under a year, he has lost his wife, his home, most of what he owned, and his family has been hit hard with tragedy after tragedy. I don't think I've ever met a family who's lost somebody to late-stage cancer, a brain aneurysm, and then had a girl put into ICU, I think for COVID. But still, even though all these things are happening, Carl is chasing after Jesus, and we are all proud of how he's grown. I'm calling on all of my Christians, brothers and sisters, to pick a day next week to fast for his protection and healing. Pray the same for his son Zion and the whole Shelton family. These people have been through enough pain, and next week I'm hoping to give you an update on how God has answered your prayers. Another person I want you all to lift up in prayer is named Caitlin, and this woman has seriously impressed us. She immediately wanted to know more about Jesus when we met her, and she has kept growing closer and closer to him. We'll have more to share about these two and others in next week's update, so be sure to ring the bell for notifications if you haven't already. And if you haven't subscribed, do that as well. As you go about your week, remember that God looks at the intentions of the heart and that it's never too late to improve on how you serve Him. It isn't too late for us, and it's not too late for you. Also, keep in mind that there are people from all walks of life who want to hear about Christ. He is life-changing. If you have any prayer requests, please send them to the email in the description and let us know if you want us to share those prayer requests in our content. Our Patreon link is also in the description if you want to support the work of God in Millville. As always, be blessed, and I look forward to talking with you all again next week.